don't know what happened. The video
Holy
didn't go.
smokes. No, we didn't need to see the whole video anyway. What's up, you guys? Welcome to another incredible episode of the Explain It podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Stephen Hunt.
And I'm Ingrid Hernandez.
And boy, do we have a show for you because we have the one and only Miron Briley. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, well, you guys are at a way cool place right now. You guys are doing the No One Left Behind challenge with Pace Morby, right?
That's right.
That is so cool. Well, I'd love to dive into this. Let's get us all started. Miron, why don't you give our viewers just a little bit of background? Who the heck is Miron Briley?
Yeah, I would love to.
He's also trying to let people know on the Instagram live, like, what's up? Come check us out.
Okay, so I joined Sub2. I think it's been 3.5 years. Dude, I cannot remember. It's been just a little more than 3 years. And before that, I was doing car washing. I was in the car wash industry it was my first job ever.
Oh, wow.
And I was with that last company for like 17 years. I was a director and it was awesome. I liked it. I can speak positively of it now. You know what I mean? You know, when you like leave a job and you're just like so upset, but it's been, 3 years. I've kind of let go of that baggage, but
the emotion behind it.
The emotion has let go, and I'm taking on the positive things that I'm learning, have learned, and bringing it to my new business. But it taught me a lot of things. But Miron is an integrator, third party. Like I'm very good at putting things together operationally. I feel like I am. I do better with operations, like getting on the phone and closing deals. I can do it, but like really that's why I work with Ingrid. You know what I'm saying? So the past 3 years have been really, really insane. Learned a lot. Thank you, Pace Morby. Thank you, Sub2. But when I started, I was trying to figure out wholesaling, direct to seller. And then I learned like, okay, I'm going to start building out systems for people. So I was selling like a go high level build out, right? So some of you people are watching may have bought that, but joined some teams. Last 2 years, we did about 100 deals, all creative finance. Ooh. And built systems along the way. And through all of that, we end up building a system to help us make more offers. I had to have that in my business. What I did is I built a team that I was having them go find deals. I taught them how to go find deals through like Zillow or whatever. Call the agent. Here's the list of numbers. Just call them. Send it to me. I'll underwrite it. I'll send out the offer. And sometimes I would get like 30 leads in one day. Wow. And I'd sit there and underwrite and send out the offer by hand. I go, dude, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way to do this. So I end up just building it. I built it out of necessity. So that's how I came to, and we built the LOI Blaster. So LOIBlaster.com is our product. And, some of the little things along the way, we built like the calculator and all these other things, but, built a team, dissolved it. Now I'm focusing on, like automations, focusing on like little build outs or CRM, LOI Blaster, like little automation stuff. That's really what I'm focusing on now.
Well, as you can tell, Miron is our nerd extraordinaire. I know. I'm like, let me help you.
Thank you.
I'm more of the I don't know, the noise. Anywho, but yeah, no, I've been so impressed. Behind us, what you see is how many LOIs are wow, this is like an active count.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a ticker.
That's cool.
So this ticker is literally telling people how many LOIs are being sent out since we started. Is it just this challenge?
Just today.
Just today?
This is just today.
Wow.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
An LOI, for those of you that don't know, is a letter of intent, is what you would send over to an agent showing that you're interested in the property. So just to give some people context about what an LOI is.
Yeah. What's really exciting about it is that you're leveraging the technology aspect to like literally blast your wholesaling company into existence. Obviously, we're all entrepreneurs here, and we know like starting up a company, whether it's a tried and true business model or something that's completely brand new. Like I'm listening to the Steve Jobs book right now, and I'm like, wow, like they were in the right place at the right time, but they also had to believe in themselves quite a bit. And knowing those strong personalities, just how quickly things could disintegrate with how they were really dealing with each other. And
Well, in that
so
first decade there too, for Steve Jobs, I mean, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time for the first decade, essentially, until he left and then eventually came back. And that's when it really came to life, was him being able to come back to the company as well.
oh my, if you could only, well, I don't know if have you listened to the book?
No, I've watched a couple of the movies though.
Oh, I haven't watched the movie, but it was interesting on how, like, I feel I don't know how he came back yet because I haven't gotten to that part in the book, but really it was his ego that really caused so much turmoil. But so as great as a mind is, as great as a product is, you also need really strong leadership, and you need like a common goal, which I think was the problem in the first place. When the first time he was at Apple, they were just not in the same, they didn't have the same common goal. And it's interesting how like that's the thing that kind of makes or breaks your business. So but LOI is a great starting point. So there's all these other things that need to come into place, right? Like what are we learning so far through this LOI blasting challenge? And I know this is our third challenge together. So
yeah, still for me, I feel like communication is like the number one thing. Like our team right now, I have someone helping me with, they're doing the LOI blasting, right? They're pulling the list, they're putting it into the system, they're sending out the offers. They're doing that part, but they're also scheduling the appointments.
Yeah.
Right. And we call him the Rainmaker. His name's Ang. He is so overwhelmed with how many appointments we're setting. I don't think it's intentional. He's unintentionally like triple booking the same time slots. And it's not like he's doing a bad job. It's like, yo, this thing is like,
that's how successful
we're like we're pushing, and then he's getting confused. And so that's just a breakdown in communication, right?
Yeah.
And
by the way, chaos. This is a good kind of chaos. Like imagine not having any appointments to set. Like that's the opposite of what we want. So I would say this is the good kind of chaos. Like we have so much activity going on that it actually creates a good kind of chaos.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, if we even back it up further, that I really, really liked about your story, Miron, too, is that you weren't somebody that waited to take any action on anything that you were doing. You went ahead, you took the action, you built out the team, you dissolved the team, you're making decisions, you're being decisive, you're taking the actions to do what you have to do. And throughout that action, you were able to identify with yourself and say, I don't like doing this thing over here. I really like doing this thing over here instead. In fact, I like this thing over here so much, I'm noticing that there's a huge gap that's stopping the people from doing the thing that I don't want to do. Why don't I just focus on this side of it right here? And now I can just really double down on the gap of what the market is really needing. And I feel like that's been tried and true so far. I mean, you guys are in your third freaking challenge that you're doing for No One Left Behind for the LOI Blaster. So clearly something's working here. And you were able to see that because you took the action to actually do that. It's the same way with me with property management. I saw exactly what we needed in the marketplace. I saw what I couldn't get anywhere else. And I was like, I want this thing. And I realized it just didn't really exist. So why don't we just do it ourselves then? Because it's clearly something that other people need too.
Yeah. Yeah. And technically, the No One Left Behind challenge is the beginning parts of a business in a box, right? So what's really exciting, at least from my perspective, is, we get so many folks who want to get started in this business. So we create this microcosm of what does that look like for you? And like, we literally have over 100 teams, over 100
Wow.
teams. That's over 100 businesses across the nation trying to do this thing. Now, if you're a real estate agent with a listing, you may be getting bombarded by soft offers, as we call them, or LOIs. But it's a great teaching technique because, as you mentioned, Stephen, it's not just sitting and observing, it's actually doing. So kudos to Miron for creating such a cool product,
Huge.
LOI Blaster, because that's really, when you think about starting a business, if you don't have leads, you don't have a business. Or if you can't control your leads, you have a hobby. You don't have a business. So that's why it's important to always have that lead pipeline. And LOI Blaster allows for so much of that. That it really is the foundation, one of the foundational pieces. So let's talk through, like, how are the teams set up and what are some of the fundamentals? So if anybody out there wants to join any future, 155 teams this time. Thank you, Trisha. Holy smokes. Every time we do this, there's so many more teams. That's so crazy.
I think the first one was like 70.
Uh-huh.
And then it was like 105.
Uh-huh.
And now we're at 150. We've doubled since the first one.
That is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fast.
So the team structure, I think, isn't great. It's a great team structure because out of the 155, this isn't, what I'm about to say isn't true across the board. It's more of a generalization. So it's like 10, let's say 10 new people. We're going to call them freshmen. Freshies. Now, not every team has 10 people. Some people have 20. Okay. Let's just round out to about 10. So what we found out on our first one, we're like, who's going to teach them what to say? Who's going to teach a new person what to say? Because we just want them to set an appointment for our closer, which is Pace. How do I set an appointment, Ingrid? What do I say on the phone? Well, just ask them if they can, talk at 3:00. You know what? Don't make it too hard, but they still they're scared. Right. So we need a coach. And I think it was day 2, we called Ingrid's, please, SOS, please come here. And so we have 10 new people, a coach to help them. We have a closer, which is Pace on our team. We have a rainmaker, which is someone like me who would operate the systems in the back end. And then we go, okay, who's going to do the contracts? Who is going to make sure the people show up? Who's going to make sure that we have our KPIs? We need a whole nother person. So we brought in an operator. So on our team is Jade Jarvis, right?
Love Jade.
And Trisha Flake.
Oh yeah. And Trisha, then we needed to back up. We need someone to back that person up. So we brought in Trisha, Trisha Flake. She's in the audience right now. So, did I miss anybody? I think that's it.
So let's see. Let's recap.
Wait, one more.
Okay.
Right there.
I was running Zooms all day, so I needed a backup rainmaker. So we have another backup person sending out offers. His name is Ang.
Okay.
Kind of confusing, but
so the business in a box right now, at least how this challenge can be supported, or at least the framework we've provided, is you should have a rainmaker, you should have a coach, you should have a closer, and you should have an operator / TC. Those are the 4 supporting roles to the freshies. And these are people who are now just firstly taking action and trying to figure out, how do I do this business? I don't know what I'm doing. And then there's been a few things, like a lot of learning pieces, like, for example, the first No One Left Behind challenge, and the second one is we've been learning that people have a lot of questions, and reminding folks that those questions need to be set aside, because they have, if you can single out exactly the action that they're supposed to take in their role or their primary action, then it becomes easier to manage expectations. So, for example, our freshies, their only job is to set appointments, and they're expected to mess up, and they're expected to not have answers. So when an agent asks a question, they should actually leverage the fact that they don't know the answer to make an appointment, right? So imagine you're the agent to me and you're like, but what do you mean? Like, how long would this balloon look like? Or how long would you hold on to this note? Well, me as a freshie, I would say, actually, I'm not sure. I'm newer to the team. My job is to see if you have interest. And if you do have interest, I'm going to set an appointment up with our decision maker. Are you available at 3 p.m. tomorrow?
Boom. It's so easy, guys. It's that easy.
It's that easy.
Don't be the guy that gets asked that question and then just hang up the phone.
There's been a few.
There's another way.
Yeah. And so when you distill that and you reconcile that with all of the teams, because we have Zooms going on every single day and we try to reinforce some of these concepts, that's how we can actually make this so much simpler. Understandably, when you're on the phone, you get nerves, you get scared. And so that I'm out there being a coach while they're talking, I'm like mouthing, like, say this, tell them 3 p.m. tomorrow. So that's really the fun of it too, because we get to do it face to face. And I know we encourage a lot of teams out there too, to like get together because that face to face energy does so much for you as well. So that's been very helpful.
So good. I love that this expedites the decision making of not taking action. I mean, it kind of takes that away, right? For the most part, it's like, hey, cool, I just got to click this button and it's going to send these things out. And now I just be prepared for conversations.
Yeah.
Or it's not even you. It's like we have one dedicated, well, we have two, but one dedicated person is doing that part. They don't have to take those phone calls, right? They're probably more the introverted person, like, no, please don't let me on the phone. You know what I mean? But the new people are like, okay, all it's going to be is just making the phone call. So it's just like everybody is kind of doing their part. And what I like the best is the freshmen, the freshies are like, my team is counting on me to do this, right? And the Rainmaker, the person using LOI Blaster is like, no, my team is counting on me to do this, right? And I think the coolest thing about running a team or being on a team or being in a team is that it creates accountability without you even really realizing it, right? If it was just one person by themselves, they could easily choose to click on Netflix, right? Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel like doing it today. But if Steven is like, yo, Miron, where are my leads? What's going on? I need more leads. Then you just jump up and you like, I'd much rather disappoint myself than another person. That's just like human nature. Right? That's my favorite part.
That's the introvert in you.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think just as when we have experiences in sub 2 as well, where your brain starts thinking differently, introducing something like this technology of LOI Blaster and the fact that there are ways of doing this business differently that actually make it easier, it starts helping you think differently. You're like, wait a second, I can send out all of these soft offers and you can integrate some data. And so what else can I do to do some campaigns and things of that nature that can only help my business moving forward?
Yeah.
So
what are those?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me what those are.
Do you want me to tell you exactly?
Yeah.
Well, like for us, for example, as we help people in the senior space, is like, how can we get better at getting in front of the business owners we actually want to talk to, and what could that look like, right? So those are things that I think are important to automate to some extent and be able to have a very similar model to No One Left Behind. And I would argue that's the same if you have a plumbing company or if you have an electrician company. Like, how do you integrate technology to help automate some of the more administrative things to your marketing and your campaigning while still taking some of the cost out of it?
Yeah.
Because the human aspect, it can get expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
I like that. If I thought of a plumber, what does a plumber even really do? I think their biggest, I'm probably wrong on this, but I think their biggest marketing is the van that they're driving around. It has the giant call
Butt
me
crack?
now.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay.
And having a funky name, because you'll see that all the time too. Butt crack plumbing, and it'll be the
Yeah,
short
yeah.
name of the van with this butt crack out.
Putting them on Angie's list and all that stuff is a given, but like, how do I get in front of more clients, right?
Yeah. There are going to be a lot of billboards, like you just mentioned, for sure. It's going to be a lot of the people driving around, seeing it. But a huge thing for them, too, is going to be the Google search tab as well.
Yeah.
So making sure that they have
Probably
a good
near
Google
me.
business
You can get
profile.
here the fastest because I need them right now, right?
Yeah.
But as far as real estate goes, this for me, like we're reaching out to agents, is a very easy way to get started.
Yes.
I don't think this is like the most advanced thing someone can do because we don't have to skip trace. We just pull the list off of a list pulling service, put it into the blaster, and send it off. There's really, it's not some funky, crazy CRM thing there. You have to skip trace and clean your phone numbers and all that stuff. It's just sending out the emails, right? So what I like is to make things just like you said, Stephen, just a minute ago, is clicking buttons. I like click a button and it does a thing. Click a button and it does a thing. There's not really much to think about. So just lower barrier to entry, even the thought processes behind it. Those are the things that we need.
And when you have a true product owner, because I come from like development world, you know, when you have a true product owner, if your goal is as frictionless as possible, like when you think about even LOI Blaster, you do know there's a couple opportunities that like, oh my gosh, this is the world I imagine with LOI Blaster. What if all they did was submit a form of the little components that they need to be aware of, their G drive, their email, their whatever, hit a button, and then everything else is done for them instead of some of like the step-by-step stuff that has to happen, right?
Yes.
So like full automation, and it's just one input.
Yeah, you pull whatever list that you want, put it in there, and then it sends.
Yeah, one UI that's like one form.
Yep.
Put everything there. Click send.
That's the next iteration. We're already starting to build that.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Phase two, Ingrid.
V2.
Don't be giving out the secrets already.
Oh, well,
cat's out of the bag. There's a phase two.
Her brain just coming up with it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I want the same thing because there is friction, right? But how do we? Yeah.
Well, that's the cost of involvement. You know, like I would argue you can even build a better product when you have that experience of what those bumps on the road are, because those teach you the things that are annoyances or irritations. And then you can be so much happier with a product when it's really funny though, because we were talking to Pace and Pace was like, you guys don't even know how spoon fed you are right now.
Yes,
like, do you know how long it took for me to go build relationships? Do you know how long it took for me to know how to fill in an offer or put a contract together? Like all these other little things that took him so long, and everything he learned with, years and years, we learn in one day. Like in one day.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
You get to skip in line essentially when it comes to your knowledge base and being able to learn. It's so cool. Yeah. I mean, even being a part of Sub 2 for myself and getting into real estate and being spoon fed, that expedited so much for me. And even then I was still, for the first 2 years of my real estate journey, was like constantly just getting together with people, trying different JVs out, just constantly trying to build relationships with different contractors and this and that. So to have all of this expedited for you guys, I mean, it's such a value add. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And this is a fun conversation talking about the development as well and kind of the automations behind it. I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Are you fearful at all? And this is me not being a tech guy. I say this is interesting because I'm a sales guy at heart. I've always done sales my entire life. I've always either started in cold calling, whatever it is. And for me, the quality of who I'm talking to, is very important to me as a salesperson because I know what I can control within those conversations. Do you feel like you're losing quality or you're missing out on opportunities by automating too much ever and blasting it out to so many different people? Do you feel like some of that stuff gets overlooked and maybe we don't have as much of the quality conversation going on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you get LOI Blaster. I do 3 Zooms a week with the clients, with the people who have LOI Blaster. Okay. And you're absolutely right. And I say this probably every single Zoom that I do, is the people who are going to succeed are the ones who have the most critical thinking, have the most originality, are following up on the emails that they send, right? The ones who, and Ingrid said this yesterday, so on point.
Oh, I was hoping
Right?
for like eloquent.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I was literally thinking of the word eloquent,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't want to
I
screw
mean,
that.
I could.
I didn't
I
want
could
to
be
screw
hood,
up.
or
I
I
didn't
could
want to
be
screw up that
eloquent.
word.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I said the biggest thing was like the team breaking out of their shell,
Mhm.
right? And then she goes, it is, but it's also the agents that we're helping. Like, don't forget about that relationship that you're building with that agent and helping the seller,
Mhm.
right? And I took, like, combine that. Think about how during this challenge, how many people are we helping
Mhm.
overall? All the
Mhm.
teams, all the deals, all, you know, everything. We're helping a bunch of people during this challenge. But despite saying all that, Stephen, there are clients that are just not going to do that,
Mhm.
right? They're just going to say, you know, I'm going to blast as many as I can, and that's my bar. You know, how many can I blast?
Mhm.
Right? The bar isn't how many relationships could I build. And if you watch the No One Left Behind challenge, every single call Pace does, he says, don't chase the house, chase that relationship. He's building like $1 million business with, out of the calls that we've had so far, I think he's had like 4 or 5 that were just like, whoa, we can take this to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Right. So there's nothing we can really do about how someone uses the system other than help to teach them. And that is our main goal, is like teaching people how to push towards the relationship. We're trying to automate the outreach to help people stop having excuses.
Yeah, to get
Right.
going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that. I think that's fantastic. And I love that you focus so much on, this is a tool. This isn't going to just do it for you type of thing. Like, yes, it does certain aspects of this for you, but it's still on you to build these relationships. It's huge, because that's where the return money is going to keep coming, right? You're going to get those people reaching back out to you. There's a few agents I know personally that I've built relationships with, and maybe 1 to 2 times a year, they'll send me a deal that I'm able to buy. And that's
Yeah.
great. And I'm happy to have that relationship for that 1 to 2 deals a year. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why this model is great, because
do that 20 times.
Yeah. Why not? So why not
Yeah.
have 20, 30 agents you have really strong relationships with, and if they're all doing it once or twice a year with you, it's like, boom, you have a whole year's worth of business.
You got
So,
20, 30 deals a year coming in.
yeah, for sure. Especially if you're a flipper specifically, like that's really, I mean, all you need if you're a small team.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's more than enough. For sure. Denise asked the question, does the blaster send out a follow-up or just the LOI? And then it's up to us to do so.
Very good question. Denise, if you're just going to use the base product of LOI Blaster, it only sends out 1 LOI. I do teach you how to use a third party. It's not an add-on or an affiliate or anything like that. I can teach you how to do like a third party sending service to do the follow-ups. I landed on one. I built Kajabi videos about it, and I have walkthroughs on how to set that up. So yes, it sends out 1, but I can teach you how to send out follow-ups as well.
Wait. Kajabi. Does that mean you have a community around this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, you know, we do 3 Zooms a week where I jump on, I teach you how to use the system. I answer your questions, get you out of your stuck mode. And I help you. This is really what I want during the Zooms, is I want you to partner up with other people using it and create little teams. Okay.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
my bet. That's
your vision.
That makes my heart sing when I see 2 other people go out and like start making a business.
Yeah.
Man, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So then we have a Facebook group.
Mhm.
So if you have just like a quick question, go to the Facebook group. You have a quick question, or you want to tell people about the win that you had, right? We love to see wins in there. Love to see positivity. Have a Facebook group for you to do that. Also, Kajabi. Kajabi walkthroughs. I cannot tell you how many support videos we have. You get a walkthrough, but every single Zoom that we do, we record it and we put it in the Kajabi so you can see all of the 2 to 3 hour Zooms we do. We do 3 2-hour Zooms a week.
Wow, that's a lot of support.
It is. It's
Wow.
crazy.
So you do 2 to 3. Wait, you do 3 2-hour Zooms every week.
Yeah.
For a process that, tell me, how long, once I've kind of become acquainted with the product and the process, how long does it take for me to send out LOIs?
Okay, so you have it set up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have it set up, and you're just going to go pull a list, put it into the blaster, and hit go.
Yeah.
Not 10 minutes.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So talk about customer service. He's giving you 3 Zooms of 2 hours each to kind of troubleshoot, would you say?
It's like maybe we have a Thursday morning operations. How build your team.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday.
Oh, okay. So it's beyond just using the technology.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you actually run a business?
Yeah, Saturday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Saturday morning newbie Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Bring your newbie questions to Saturday morning.
Uh-huh.
Monday night, advanced users.
Uh-huh.
How are you going to use it in advanced ways? How are you going to pull like a seller finance list that's different? Or how can you use maybe 2 blasters at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Like some different little techniques that I'm bringing to the table Monday nights.
Mm-hmm. Is there other aspects that can get integrated? So for example, imagine I have an email campaign list and I'm like, well, I already have this LOI technology. Could I use it to grow my newsletter, to grow my YouTube channel? Because you could use it to blast other things as long as you have emails, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, basically it's it's an LOI blaster. So what it does is it sends an email with an attachment.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as whatever you're doing has an attachment to it.
Yeah.
That's really what the product's designed to do.
How is it determining the price point through automation, I'm assuming, of what you're actually offering? Is it just coming in and going, hey, 60 cents on the dollar of the Zestimate, or what does that look like?
It's that stuff. Well, hold on. Let me finish one little thought with Ingrid.
Yeah.
We do integrate with CRMs. So if you know anything about webhooks, you can put a webhook in the blaster and then integrate to your CRM, right? So if you're pushing out to agents and saying, hey, who would like to come to the agent class, this agent workshop on Friday, whatever, and you get replies, you could do that. And you're sending a flyer. You know what I mean? So, okay, Steven, how does it calculate all this stuff? We basically use what the list service gives us. So we use PropStream a lot. We've integrated with PropStream and Batch. And let's say, I'm not going to give numbers because my headspace really isn't there, but there's a mortgage balance, let's say, and you have a list price. Okay. It's going to take those 2 numbers and figure out what that equity is. Okay. Like, do they have 25% equity? Do they have 5% equity? Are they negative equity? Okay. But basically it's going to use the list price and the mortgage balance and then help you determine a roundabout number, what you should give to the seller and what you should give to the agent. And then the cash offer, you can also implement maybe option 2 is the cash offer. And that's fully customizable. You can say 85 cents on the dollar or 70 cents on the dollar. You customize that how you want.
Very cool. Love that. What does it cost to be a part of LOI Blaster?
To sign up, which is LOIBlaster.com, it is a $497 setup fee plus $97 a month.
Cool.
Very cool.
LOIBlaster.com.
LOI
You
Blaster.
You will need PropStream or Batch in order to get going as well. You need a list.
Yeah, you need a data source.
Yeah.
So if I'm an agent and I already get my data from MLS because it's exportable, so I can pull expired lists and some other data, then I won't necessarily need to buy a list service for that.
You still do, because we like to do low equity a lot, right? And I don't know of an MLS that has mortgage data that's exported with it. Okay. If you do, if you have MLS with mortgage data, let me know. I will work to implement it in. But the ones that I'm in Texas, and I've had access to every single MLS in Texas, and I've never had the mortgage data. So if you can figure that out for me, I'd be very grateful.
Yeah. Okay. Very good to know. And then we have a question from Sunia. Does it integrate with Michael Frankie's niche data?
I don't know what that is, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
Let me go find out.
Yeah. Michael Frankie is a part of the Sub 2 community. So it's probably worth noting. Here you go. If you want to take a little quick note.
Thank you.
Michael Frankie. He's awesome. Awesome investor out of KC. So I think we've had, I can't recall. Have we had Michael Frankie on the show? I don't remember. Oh, you know what? We did before the old Explain It before we had the new Explain It. So
yeah, before the revamp.
Yeah, totally.
When you didn't explain stuff very well.
So next question that I have too is from a data perspective. I love watching the number behind you continually grow, by the way. Super, super cool. I mean, we started off at 3,000, I think, when this podcast started, and there's 268 more on there already.
Yeah.
How much of those, because I've been hearing some crazy numbers too, coming from the No One Left Behind challenge. How many of those end up converting into potentially a contract? Because even if that was 10 contracts out of that, and it's been, only this amount of time today, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Our crew is coming into the studio, so you might hear some background noise, but no problem. So the way we convert, when I first started, dude, I was converting like 1 out of 100 to a contract and getting that deal. Now it's closer. Our user base has grown, and there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more competition to be credible. Okay. And so now that conversion has gone up, it's gone down. So now it's more like maybe 250. And really what I found most recently is the person who follows up, the guy who like really pushes follow up, or the team that really pushes follow up is the person who gets the deal.
Yeah.
Right?
The fortunes in the follow up.
Yes.
The fortunes in the follow. That's what any business to business model looks like in any business, honestly, even direct to consumer. The follow up is how you get.
There's a reason why the big brands, Procter and Gamble, are consistently putting out ads, on TV. Exactly. And when you're scrolling through Instagram and all these kinds of things, it's their version of follow up. They're not going to have a representative call you for Crest toothpaste. You know what I mean? They're not going to have anybody on the phones doing anything like that. But if they can put it in front of you, so it's a constant reminder, subconsciously, you're going to eventually go back and get it.
Yeah. And I want to point this out again. A group who has, no website, their LOI is super generic, their email is super generic, they're not going to do well, right? It's like seeing a bad ad. Okay. You kind of have to level up. You're sending offers against a lot of other people. We had an agent tell us that she had like 20 offers, sub 2 offers on this one house. Okay. So they have to thumb through 20, and how are you going to stand out? Right. So use the tool and build your business up to have the tool help you to the greatest degree. You know what I'm trying to say?
Totally.
You just made me think of an idea, which I'm not going to say here after you saying that. Like, how are you going to stand out? Okay.
Well, yeah, I immediately, my brain went to you try to help them. Okay. You got 20 to sift through. Why don't I help you out with that? And that helps you kind of stay at the table as well and build a closer relationship with them and all that kind of good stuff.
The thing about me is I'm not going to tell you what to do, because if I tell you what to do, then everybody's going to do what I just told you to do. And you're all going to do the same thing. Like, just use your own mind, like use your brain, how to, and come up with your own idea. How are you going to stand out? I would
argue not everybody knows how to use their brain.
I know.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure we understand. But
anyway, we give them templates. Here's the starting templates. Jump off that.
Yeah.
Please.
So one thing Myron has been really, I have so much respect for Myron. So he made me cry when we were having our last No One Left Behind challenge, because he talked about impact. And when I think about my purpose and my drive and why I love to do this business and why I want to be involved with something like No One Left Behind, helping people kind of have breakthroughs and how they can now start feeding their families, So for me, I put a lot of focus on impact. Will you share with us a little bit about how that's evolved with you and how when you first got started and now where things are with you?
Yeah.
But don't make me cry this time.
Okay, I'll do my best.
All right, great.
I don't remember exactly what I said because I was just speaking from my heart. So I'll just do that.
Okay, do that. Well, then I guess he's going to make me cry.
Authentic. I love this. Don't make me cry.
So when I first started real estate, I left my job. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea who to talk to, what to do. Like, I just said, Carolyn, I'm done. I'm just done. I cannot go back another day. I quit. She's like, what? So I just quit. And I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And I would go on LinkedIn. I would go to Instagram. I would go to I'd go to YouTube videos like, hey, please help me. Help me, help me, help me. I will pay you $500 right now just to like talk to me. No. Like everybody told me no, dude. And so like, just think about where we are right now. Like, shit, I'm about to start crying.
Oh, damn.
But like,
we're in Pace's basement right now for those
I was
watching.
begging for help for probably 7 months. And then I went to, Carolyn went to a meetup, a Bigger Pockets meetup. And somebody there goes, have you heard of Pace Morby? And Carolyn came home and she's like, have you heard of Pace Morby? I'm like, I went to my app store and I tried to download an app called Pace Morby. I didn't know what the heck that was. And so, I was struggling so bad and no income. Luckily, we had just sold our house. We had a couple, not $100,000. We had like close to $100,000 in the bank just to float.
Yeah, to live off. Yeah.
And that gave me the confidence to quit. By the way, that is not enough money.
No, it's not.
To quit your job.
Yeah.
With no plan. So 2 kids, one small girl, one, toddler. And like, what the hell am I doing? Right. So getting started was very hard. And if I filmed that whole thing, you would see me on the floor, bawling my eyes out several nights. You know what I mean? Just like, what the hell are we doing? And so here today at this is the 3rd No One Left Behind challenge. Just think of the trajectory of someone who's just starting, not knowing what to do, who to reach out to or whatever, then meeting Pace. I would join the community. After that person told me to go look at Pace Morby, I joined 2 days later. So I need to be a part of something. And then 3 weeks after I joined, Pace picked me and Carolyn to come to his house. And we stayed here for a whole week. 3 weeks in of real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were like,
what a treat.
Yeah, it was the most impactful thing that has ever happened. Okay. So I went from not knowing where the hell I was, no one would help me, to now this product, LOI Blaster, is now, we're sending 3,000 offers so far today, rooms full of people, helping 150 teams, impact each other, impact the agents, impact the sellers, and is like the biggest, wildest ride I've ever been on. Right. So, it's helping support my family. It's helping me support my mental health, all those things. So dude, it's been wild. It's been amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you for helping.
It's because you took action,
Yes.
you decided like, hey, and recognize it. Sometimes you have to get to that corner of the room where you have no other options left. And you're like, what is going to help me really kick off, Yeah. And somehow the universe listens. So
Pace said, the more people you impact, the better you'll be. You're right. The better off you'll be. And so how can you impact more people?
Yeah.
That should be, and Ingrid says this all the time. How can you impact the most amount of people? That's what you should go do.
Yeah.
It will change your life. Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
It's crazy how much a business, when you really break it down, though, just real estate alone, how many people you impact. If I look at the fix and flip side, how many families am I feeding when it comes to all the contractors that I'm working with, my GC, my project manager, the title company, the agent that I might have got the deal from, the wholesaler that I might have got the deal from, the senior that I might have got the deal from, the business that also helped and put food on the tables for those people. You start breaking it down. You're like, this one real estate deal, this one fix and flip that I did just fed 40 different families.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
one time I did a JV that had 12 people on it.
Wow.
And that wasn't during No One Left Behind, right? And when you change your mindset to like, how can I make money versus how can I get this person paid, right? How can I get Ingrid some money? Then you're just the mindset. That's how I said it before. It was like when you're trying to impact another person, your mindset shifts and it kind of goes a little stronger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that to me is the secret sauce, is like, get on a team and work with other people, and that will push you harder than anything has ever pushed you.
I would say Ingrid is a testament to this. 80% of her business model is literally helping people all the time. Look where she's at right now. You know what I mean? She's constantly on the phone helping people 24/7. And that's no wonder why so much flows through Ingrid. Why does so many opportunities come to Ingrid? Because she's the one putting herself out there, making an impact, touching everybody's lives and giving everybody that time, which I think is just, it's beautiful. It's a patience that I also don't have, that I wish I was a little bit better at.
Y'all, applause for Ingrid.
No. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and Myron too. We're all in here. And they all can hear you, Steven. So this is
fantastic.
Great.
What's
we
up,
kind
everybody?
of have an audience on our podcast right now.
It's so good. A live audience. Goodness.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me help you, Steven. And for Steven.
What's up? It's so good.
Right on. No, I will say, I'd like to think that I have people around me who are amazing. Steven, you included. Despite you feeling one kind of way, I think you're way more generous with your time and your knowledge. And it's why this podcast is so much fun, right? That we have thought about that. This impact's a little bit different. We love to talk to experts like Myron and how they're changing the world and exposing that to as many people as we can. It's why we love doing this podcast, because we get to see how other people are changing other people's worlds and we get to learn from it. So what did we learn from this? We learned that having impact and trying to help others is really how you help yourself. So
I love this deep talk vibe. It's like when you get drunk at a party and you go off to the corner with your friend and you talk all night long. This is great. Yeah. We're all emotional.
Where's the joint? No,
you're nicer. No, you're more impactful.
I'm just joking. Just joking for all of us, my kids listening in the future. So very cool. Anything else that you think we'd need to cover, Myron?
No, I think we did. You guys are great at this.
Stop it, Myron. It's only because we have a great guest.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. But no, I want to say this, Ingrid and I were talking just a little bit before this, we really owe a lot to Pace.
Oh.
We owe a lot to Pace. So hats off Pace. Man, what a life-changing guy. If it weren't for him, we would not be here right now. And we wouldn't be impacting the people that we do. So it's not really me. It's really partnering with the right people, getting, I was so introvert. I did not want to, I'm never going to message Pace. I'm never going to talk to him. There's no reason for me to talk to Pace. That's for someone else, like Ingrid. Right. And then Carolyn, my wife was she started talking to him more. Right. Just no, you need to talk to him and send him a message. And so I did, and I did, started talking to him dude, what's the current Guinness Book World Record is 1,300 offers in one day. Boom, done. Right. And so our plan is to literally, so this is how I really got in front of him. I go, yo, your current Guinness Book World Record, it's Pace's record of 1,300 offers in one day. Yo, let's 100x that. He goes, well, tell me more. Right. And so
that's
then that was the journey.
Nice.
Yeah. That was the journey from there. I go, yo, let's get this thing rolling, man, because we're going to kill it.
Yeah.
It's a great
I can
pace
probably
hook.
do that myself.
Yeah. Well, since we have a live audience, what questions do you guys have for Miron about his LOI Blaster journey or your experience with it so far? Or what do you guys think? Anybody?
I don't have any questions, but it's super awesome.
Yeah.
Ang just said it's super awesome. No,
Ang
no
said-
questions, just comments. He's just like chilling back, eating popcorn like he's
Yeah.
at a movie theater.
He's the ultimate Asian. Not only is he really great at MMA and but he's also really great at the technical stuff. That's what he told me yesterday. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Asian, Ingrid," and I was like asking him about.
You're like, it's 2024. I'm not trying to get canceled. Yeah, I'm not going to make any assumptions.
Right on. Cool.
I was going to say, Myron, I will ask you, what is one of the biggest challenges that you found? Like, I like how your approach to LOI Blaster, and you find a challenge or something that doesn't work or just exactly how you want it.
Mhm.
And it gets better and better.
Yeah.
Because I guess this is not even a question. This is maybe just a comment.
A comment about how he fixes. So Trisha's
Yeah.
saying, what's the biggest challenge? Well, actually, what has been your biggest challenge so far through your LOI Blaster journey?
The biggest challenge is that I'm going to be technical on this one. The biggest challenge right now is that we're stuck on Google. So it's built on Google technology, and that has been a struggle because Google really they don't like spammers, and nobody does, but like they really limit how many emails you can send a day.
Mm.
And so our next iteration is going to get rid of that, right? So our biggest challenge right now is like, what can our clients do? What can the people do that are sending out these offers? Because there's a lot of struggle around that, and there's a lot of limitations, and I don't like that.
Mhm.
But past just like what the product does, it's getting people to think for themselves. Like, what does my email need to look like? Nobody, like if I were to say, Ingrid, write the sub-2 contract on your own, like, whoa, what? You know what I mean? So people like to be told what to say. They like to be told what to do. They like to have everything drawn out, and they like training, right? They want an SOP. They want to know exactly what to say. I just saw a reel today. It was like the guy went up to buy a car, and he like flipped through paper to sell a car.
Mhm.
Like, oh, hello, first name. You know what I mean? Like, people want to be told exactly what to do. And I'm like, no, you need to use your own personality. So people are struggling with that.
Mhm.
And I really like that's my struggle right now, is like, how can I teach people to use their own voice and through an email? Okay. So that's my next thing, is like getting Google out of the way and helping people use their own voice. And then one last thing, Stephen, how can I use LOI in a totally different way that no one's thinking of?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That one we definitely need a joint, maybe some time as a donut. Anyway. Right on. Well, I know we're getting close to time, and I believe we're going to actually go live with LOI Blaster, or the LOI.
No one.
Excuse me. Thank you. The No One Left Behind
How can
channel.
people become
The
a part
other-
of No One Left Behind right now if they wanted to come join that?
Oh, yes.
Say what? Sorry. What do you say?
How can somebody become a part of No One Left Behind right now if they're watching
Oh.
this and they say, oh, I'm going to hop on?
Yes. Okay. Well, you can go to NOLB resources. I'm going to just do that. Except
.com.
yes.com. But yesterday was the last free day. So if you want to join today, you have to join sub 2. And if you join sub 2, then you can join in the action going forward.
Yeah.
So today's sub 2 only, and going forward.
Yeah.
But for the next challenge, go to NLB resources and sign up for January's challenge. We'd love to see you there. And so it's free for the first 3 days, but after that, you have to be in sub 2, and we will put you on a team, and your team will help you do exactly what you have to do to help you get your first deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is
And you will
fantastic.
kick
So
butt.
are you guys going to be doing this every single month?
I think we're doing it next month. We want to do it every month. Yes, we want to do it every month.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So if you're on here, please go to nolbresources.com, and come join us. Come hang out. We'd love to see you.
Mm.
Right
And
on.
Miron, how can people follow along for your journey?
Just follow me on Instagram. It's just my name, at Miron Briley on Instagram.
Well, that makes it easy.
Yeah, you're not going to find another one, so you won't get confused.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining our podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
hope to
This has
have you
been
back.
amazing.
Yeah, after you've figured out how to use the blaster for another way of building somebody's business. Honestly, at the end of the day, this is impact to businesses.
Yep.
So this is really exciting. I know that Stephen and I are always looking at that angle quite a bit, is like, how do you make businesses better, which is great. So
Love that.
We'll work on it.
cool. Well, guys, we are here every Wednesday, 1 to 2 p.m. Arizona time. Remember, just follow myself on YouTube or Stephen Hunt on YouTube as well. Subscribe, hit the bell, all the good things. And we'll be here 1 to 2 p.m. Arizona time every Wednesday. Cool.
Looking forward to seeing you guys next time.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.